Oopsie. Okay, let's try this again. Good morning, my friends. My name is Lama Jigme Gyatso, and I welcome you to a very special video for Enlightened Fitness. In the previous video, we finally completed our meditation cycle where I got people up to the point where they're able to meditate for 60 minutes. And now we're celebrating by starting from scratch. So today I'm going to pretend you have absolutely zero expertise in fitness, zero expertise in meditation. It'll be a lot of fun. So here at Enlightened Fitness we do two things. Number one, through the cunning use of bodyweight high intensity interval training. I guess that's the other way around. High intensity bodyweight interval training, that's much better. We help you to cultivate the body of a tantric sex god. And through guided meditation, we help you to cultivate the heart and mind of a Buddha. Now folks, I don't care how hard you work out, if you eat shit food, you're going to get shit results, so you got to eat a healthy diet. That's why I've got links all over the place. About 3 inches below the video, there's a button that reads Show More. When you click it, it will reveal a list of links as long as my arm. There are links to help you, the links that will take you to a page where all the Enlightened Fitness videos are organized first by length of workout and then by length of meditation. And there's the second link will take you to the low-fat, whole-food, plant-based diet, which is the easiest way to optimize your health. And of course there are other links that will take you to the page that says water is the optimal beverage, and there are pages that tell you how to do intermittent fasting, where you get all your day's calories, whether it's 2,000 or 2,500 or 3,000, in an 8-hour window, and then you fast for 16 hours, which is just very efficient for your body. Having said that, let's begin. Now, like I said, I'm going to pretend that you have zero fitness experience. So let's warm up by doing imaginary jump rope, because the nice thing about imaginary jump rope is it's tough to trip. There are many links you'll find below the video. You'll find links for the pushing it, for the squatting it, for the legs, for the core, for the pushing, and for the pressing. We're going to start with the squatting, or the legs. Now, good old Einstein is rumored to have said the following: any intelligent fool can make things bigger, more complex, and more violent. It takes a touch of genius and a lot of courage to move in the opposite direction. So my goal is not to inundate you with 1,000 different exercises. My goal is to give you just the smallest number of exercises required to work every muscle in your body, including your heart and lungs. So the first thing I want to draw your attention to is my feet. So, on the way down, I'm pressing with the heels. On the way up, I'm pressing with the heels, then with the toes. So I land on the toes, I push to the heels. I start with the heels, I push to the toes. So if you're a beginner, a great way to begin, how's that for redundance? If you're a beginner, a great way to begin, oh, I'm completely off camera. Is by chair squats or sofa squats. And just like it sounds, Start off just working with your heels, and your hands are in front of you as a counterweight. And you touch your tushy to the couch, and you stand back up. You want to keep your knees over your heels. Exhale on the way down, because just like you're pressing an accordion, you're pressing your tummy, and the air comes out. Do it with me. Now, if you crave a greater challenge, then add a jump. So you start with your heel, you go to the ball of your feet and catch air. Now notice, you take off from the ball of your feet, you land on the ball of your feet, you transfer to your heel. Now you could say, hey, Lama Jigme, that sounds needlessly complex. It'll save your back. We're designed to land on the balls of our feet. We're designed to take off from the balls of our feet. If you do that, everything's fine. If you land on your heels, it's just too hard on the back. It's not designed for that. When you become comfortable with that, you can stop using the sofa. Let me give you a close-up of my feet and my tushy. So you start with just heel squats, no sofa. In time, your body will naturally remember its original flexibility, and you'll feel more and more comfortable going all the way down. Or as they say, as they say in the gyms, ass to the grass. I assure you, this will build your quads and your glutes. Now, when that ceases to be a challenge, incorporate the jump. Notice how I land on the balls, but roll to the heels. That's crucial. Now you might be saying, hey, Lama Jigme, why aren't we warming up? And the answer is, this is our warm-up for today. Let's continue. So we've got enough. So toe squats work your calves, your soleus, your extensors, and your heart and your lungs. Heel squats work your hamstrings, your quads, and your glutes. When you combine them together for these rolling squats, these jumping squats where you sink to your heels and blast with your toes, and then land on your toes and rolls to your heels, we're working everything. And it's fabulous. Now let's move on to the pushing sequence. The key to all the pushing work as he disappears off camera. The key to all the pushing work is form. So we're going to start with knee presses. Now, you want to bring your hands as deep into your armpits as possible. That's many people try doing push-ups like this. That's not ergonomically sound. This is. And then you pull your elbows as close to your ribs as possible. Hands to pits, elbows to ribs. Give it a press. And then, when you're going to challenge, add a pike. What that means is when you're on the floor, you're flat. But when you're straightening your arms, you stick your ass in the air like you just don't care. And that works the muscles more completely. That gets all your pressing muscles from your triceps and your deltoids and your trapezius. It's fabulous. When that ceases to become a sufficient challenge, straighten your legs and do a planking press. When that ceases to be a sufficient challenge, with your straight legs, do a piking press. I assure you, if you do it at maximum intensity speed, you'll have the body you desire. Now don't worry, a lot of gals are scared they'll get a man's body. That's not going to happen. Number one, we can only get as big as our body type. Number two, we can only get as big as our glands allow us to become. Because of the thalamus, the hypothalamus, hypothalamus, and the pituitary gland, a woman can only get so big. So all things being equal, a man will get bigger than a woman more than 9 times out of 10. So, ladies, it's safe to work out and unleash your inner Xena warrior princess. So at this point, you should have a light sweat. And now it's time for the Easter Bunny. Now it's time for us to do the core. Now, I love this exercise because it combines all the muscles of your core and your cardiovascular system. So you notice the squats were for legs and lungs, then there's pressing, now there's core and cardiovascular. So this is great. So you're noticing that even though we only have a circuit of 4 exercises, we are alternating between cardio and non-cardio. So this really blasts the metabolism. And the goal is not to work out for 90 minutes and burn calories. The goal is to work out at maximum intensity for 12 minutes. At the end of the 12 minutes, you're out of breath, you're drenched in sweat, and it's been such an intense workout that you've thrown your metabolism into overdrive for the next 30 hours. Very cool. Also, using maximum effort safely the way we are is excellent for your bones and your muscle and your connective tissue and your brains and your endocrine system and your immune system and your neurological system and the like. Having said that, let's return to pressing. A fun variation of the press, once you're comfortable doing straight leg presses, is the reptile. So, my hands in the pits, my elbows on my ribs. I come to my knees and return to an up press. On the in-breath, I bring my left knee to my left elbow and then straighten back out. On my right, on my next repetition, my right knee comes to my right elbow. Not only does that obviously work the pressing muscles, but it's fabulous for the internal and external obliques. It really will sculpt your core. Now let's move on, as promised, to core and cardio. The effort to blend core and cardio has been a holy grail in fitness. For my money, the best way to do that is through the use of 2 exercises: straight thrusts, and twisted thrusts. Now, there's a bunch of ways to do it. I'm going to show you my favorite. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our hands in the push-up position, but instead of having our armpit over our hands, we're going to try to get the bottom of our rib cage over our hands. Then we straighten one leg and then the other. So on the out breath, we're hopping our legs forward. On the in breath, we're thrusting them back, hence the term thrust. Now this doesn't seem like much, but I assure you, it has a profound effect in your cardiovascular system and your core. Now, the twisting variation is very similar, bottom of the ribs over the hands, legs straight, rested out, but this time you twist on the in-breath. Straighten out, twist, straighten out, and there you go. Now, here's where the variations come in. This emphasizes your lower abs. If you use push-up handles, which you can order on the website through Amazon.com for a nominal discount, works more your center abs. Now notice when I'm jumping up, I'm not letting things sag. My ass is a little bit in the air. That's called saving your lower back. If you want to work your upper abs, which I don't always recommend, you could use a medicine ball. Balance on top of the medicine ball and do the same exercise. But using the push-ups, the grips are my favorite. These travel well too. Now let's move on. We've done legs and lungs, and we've done pressing. We've done core and cardio, and now we're up to the last exercise, and that is pulling. Now there are many ways to pull. There are many apparatuses ranging from $20 to $150. I'll be honest with you, I have lifelong health challenges, and at this moment in my life, I'm not strong enough to do chin-ups and pull-ups. What I recommend to everyone starting off is they invest less than $25 or less than $30 on pulling straps. And I'm going to show you those pulling straps right now. And by the way, you can order the pulling straps on the website. All you got to do is find the bit. I'll find the link about the pulling exercises, and everything will be fine. So what we have here is a door to a bathroom, and it works best if the door opens away from you, because that way the molding of the entire door supports your weight. That's ideal. So you have two straps which end in handles, and the question is, how do I know to adjust the straps? You know you've adjusted the straps properly when you're able to hang as low as possible without your shoulder blades or your scapula touching the ground. I always like to put down a yoga blanket, which again you can also order on the website under the meditation supply section, because this is earth friendly, and you can throw it in the washing machine. Don't recommend the dryer. That'll shrink that bastard. So I'm going to adjust the camera so you can hopefully see what's going on here. Let's see, how's this look? Okay, so the two basic grips are either under grip with the thumbs or over grip without the thumbs. See the thumbs on top, just like meat hooks. There are three ways to do this. The first way is by putting your tush on your heels. That's the easiest way. The middling way is to create a 90-degree angle between your shins and your thighs, thusly. The absolutely most difficult way is to make your legs straight like a plank. I'll be using the middling way. You'll notice that the straps are crossed, and I'm using an under grip. Now you don't cheat. You want to pull the straps, the handles, as close to your armpits as possible. That's crucial. And then back down and allow your scapula to stretch out and open up as much as possible. And of course, you can also do it with a palms down grip with your thumbs disengaged. Now your elbows will kind of go flailing about, but that's normal. There are many benefits of doing the following exercises, including superior posture. There are many benefits to this workout that we're about to play with. One of the greatest benefits of taking water as your beverage of choice, eating a low-fat, whole-food, plant-based diet, using intermittent fasting where you eat during an 8-hour window and then you give your innards a break for 16 hours. One of the benefits of using a body weight, high-intensity interval training, in addition to leanness and beauty and strength and lucidity and creativity and joie de vivre and it being a natural antidepressant, folks, it'll help you to age well. I loved my maternal grandmother, but the poor girl did not age well. Favorite beverages were vodka tonic and beer. Her favorite foods were See's candies and Doritos. The poor girl had 7 strokes in one night and then lingered for more than a decade later with a brain that was fried. I would not wish that on my worst enemy. I want everyone who follows along with my guidance and my workouts to have a rich, long, fabulous life, and when they die, to do so peacefully and lucidly and joyfully. That's what I wish for me, and that's what I wish for you. Well, folks, we've gone over the basic exercises. Let's go over the idea of high-intensity interval training, also known as the Tabata paradigm. A sports trainer in Japan, known as Tabata or Tabata, found that people worked at maximum intensity for 20 seconds and then took a 10-second break, and they alternated back and forth for as little as 4 minutes. They would get an optimal, not an adequate, but an optimal workout. And he didn't do this with housewives. He did this with professional athletes who, obviously, it takes a lot more work for a professional athlete to get a good workout than for you and I. For some people, getting up off the couch and walking to the bathroom is all the workout they need. These guys really had to work hard, and for them, the Tabata paradigm was fabulous. Over the years, people have played with it. And I know myself, when I first started doing it, I was very rigid and anal retentive and perfectionistic, and I used a Tabata Gym Boss timer, and I was very, very, very uptight. As the years progressed, I found that simply by doing an exercise with maximum intensity and then transitioning to the next exercise as quickly as possible gave me the same Tabata effect with less worry and stress, and it made it more flexible. So here's the idea. It's very easy to injure yourself with weights or machines or complex apparatus. It's not impossible, but it's much, much more difficult to injure yourself using body weight fitness. One of the beautiful things about body weight fitness is that it's practically excuse-free. And what do I mean by that? It means if you have to buy expensive equipment where you can't work out, your equipment hasn't arrived. Or if you can't work out without going to the gym, then you have an excuse. I can't work out, I'm not at the gym. Or now that I have kids, I can't spend 30 minutes going to the gym, 90 minutes at the gym, 30 minutes coming home from the gym. But the beautiful thing is, if you work at home with a minimum of equipment in just 12 minutes, then it's excuse-free. And you might say, but wait, Lama Jigme, so what if I can't afford $20, $25 straps? Or what if mine haven't arrived in the mail yet? Simple. I'm going to show you a quick way around that. That is using furniture. So you can do this with a dining room table or your computer desk. Now, Do it with the utmost of skill. Don't use jerky movements. That's right, folks. You heard it here first. Don't be a jerk. And if you want to do, so I'm going to show you first how to do it with a chinning movement or an undergrip, and later I'll explain how to do it with an overgrip. So with a undergrip, you put your head underneath your desk. You grab your desk and you pull yourself up. Thusly, for greater challenge, heels further out. For less of a challenge, heels closer in. You might say, hey, I'm not sure that's going to be a full range of motion. The answer is, you know, a partial range of motion is much better than no range of motion. Perhaps you'll agree. And of course, if you want to do an overgrip, you just do it by sticking your feet under, and then you pull this way. Now that's pretty cool. But what if you were an absolute plain and there was no equipment whatsoever? You're naked in the construct from the Matrix. What would you do then? Besides, you know, make it with Neo. And the answer is, you could do a variation of a judo exercise. So, I'd love to say I made this up, but I didn't. So what you do is, you start with a horse stance, thusly, like you're riding a horse, or you're doing that Korean dance. And some people recommend a twisting motion. I don't. I like to do two variations. First variation, undergrip, hands out, palms up. You want to pull your hands as quickly and as thoroughly in as possible towards the armpit. You're not going for here. You're going for maximum range of motion, which means pull the fist to the armpit. Yes, the smelly, smelly armpit. Don't worry, you'll be taking a shower. It'll be fine. And so a side view would be out, palms up, in. And you might say, well, that's not much resistance. The resistance is not isometrically. Do not do isometrics. They will mess up your blood pressure and fuck with your head. Nobody wants that. I have to get some more water. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I hope you missed me. So, the workload does not come from isometrics. It comes from inertia. Allow me to elaborate. If you're pulling and then immediately you're pushing again and then you're pulling again, the speed and fluidity will add to the workload. Now, once again, is this a substitute for the straps or for using a piece of furniture? No. Is it better than nothing? Fuck yeah. So here we go. Now, that might look silly. I'm sure it did. But man, do I feel that in my biceps and in my lat. I feel it in all my pulling muscles. And the same thing if we do it with an overgrip. So here's the secret. When you're pulling, it's from here to here, it's your lats. When it's from here to here, it's your biceps. So pull as fast as you can. So stretch as far as you can, pull as fast as you can. Much better than nothing. So there you go. We're sweaty, we're a little bit of panting, we're properly warmed up. Now it's time, as they say in France, to get it on! I think that's French. Anyway. Okay, I think I got that from Celebrity Deathmatch. But I get points for cuteness, don't I? Don't I, Ossifer? My mother didn't have many jokes, but this is one of hers. Ossifer, Madness, think you drunk I am. Thank you, Mom. Sit down. Okay. So, my friends, we're going to do 5 circuits of 4 exercises in approximately 12 minutes time. We're going to rev up our immune system. We're going to articulate every joint in our body. We're going to strengthen our connective tissues, our muscles, our heart, our lungs. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to sit down, and then I'm going to walk you through an introductory meditation. All right, let's dig in. So, I'm going to give you 3 pieces of information. The circuit we're on, the body part we're working, and the variation we're using. So we're going to start with first, squat, jump. And you could say, well, we only have, so, but what if I can't do a jumping squat? Then do whatever you can. You're a big boy, you're a big girl, you can improvise, adapt, and overcome. By the way, I got that from a Clint Eastwood movie. Love Heartbreak Ridge. Anyway, so let's move on. So we're going to go. Let's start right now. First, squat, jump. Oh, okay. Now, piking press. Okay, rephrase that. First, press, pike. First, thrust, straight. First, pull under grip. Welcome to the second circuit. Second, squat, jump. Second, press, crawl. Okay, second, thrust, twist. Second, pull over grip. Remember to cross the straps. Seen spots. Okay, third, squat, jump. Third, press, pike. Hands to pits, elbows to ribs. Now it's time for third, thrust, straight. Whoops, gonna fall over. Okay, now it's time for third, pull, under grip. Welcome to the fourth circuit. Woo. Fourth, squat, jump. Okay. Fourth, press, crawl. Okay. Fourth, thrust, twist. Fourth, pull, over grip. Woohoo! Okay. Welcome to the fifth and final circuit. Yay. I've never had someone get to the fifth circuit and say, too easy. Fifth, squat, jump. Fifth, press, hike. Okay. Fifth, thrust, straight. long last. 5th, pull, undergrip, woohoo. That was 10. One of my mentors insists that you can do 36. 5 sets of 36. Then you're ready for using the chinning bar. I, however, not quite there. Woo! Okay. As promised, out of breath and dripping with sweat. Whew. Water beverage of choice. Okay, my friends. My full name is Lama Jigme Gyatso Rime Manipa Tantrika. What does Rime mean? Non-sectarian. In Tibet, that means you practice the teachings of the Nyingma, Kagyu, Sakya, and Geleg. But in a much larger sense, it means you practice the synthesis of all the teachings of the Theravada, the Mahayana, and the Tantrayana that are found in various Asian countries such as Sri Lanka, Vietnam, Myanmar, Thailand, and Laos, as well as the Mahayana teachings of Vietnam, China, Korea, Japan, as well as the Tantrayana teachings of Bhutan, Nepal, Tibet, and Mongolia. I've worked very hard receiving all the teachings and blessings and pith instructions of all the lineages and synthesizing them so that you don't have to. Kind of like using a funnel. One end is wide, and there's narrow. You get the idea. Today's teaching comes to us from arguably the most fundamental of all the Buddhist texts of the Theravada Tipitaka canon of scripture. It's known as the Satipatthana Sutta, or the Discourse on the Four Foundations of Mindfulness. And it's where we are first introduced to Buddha's practice of vipassana, or contemplation. Now there's two ways to practice this set of teachings. We can practice it in a very fearful, uptight, rigid, and intolerant manner given to us by the fundamentalists, or we can practice it in a highly pragmatic, easy, flexible, fun, gentle manner which is given to us by the liberals. You can probably guess I lean more towards the liberal. I mentioned the fundamentalists because they're a great cautionary tale, and there's just so many of them. Well, let's explore that for just one moment. In every sect of every religion, you're going to find a majority of fundamentalists and a minority of liberals. But wait, there's more. Wherever there are people who are sincerely enthusiastic about something, whether it's spiritual or secular, whether it's recreational or professional, whether it's scientific or artistic, whether it's about nutrition and weight loss and health and fitness, or about being a foodie or being a cook or being an artist or being a scientist or being an author or being a salesman or being a factory worker, whenever there are people who are enthusiastic about something, anything, the majority will be fundamentalist, the minority will be liberal. So how about if we put a sharper point on that? Glad you asked. And I know a lot of liberals because for many years I was one. So liberals, whether they know it or not, are rooted in fear. They practice in perfectionistic rigidity. This tends to make them intolerant and downright aggressive. And I'm not just pointing my fingers at Christians. All spiritual paths experience this dark irony, including Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, Taoism, Sikhism, Jainism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, Wiccaism, shamanism, and the like. The liberals are not rooted in fear. They're rooted in curiosity and playfulness. Having abandoned perfectionism and dignity, their height of enthusiasm is the accomplishment of the path. When I was a little boy, my first stepfather tried to give me a love of gambling and never took. He had a keen mathematical mind and he enjoyed it. At one point he critiqued my strategy and he said, listen, you're playing not to lose. And while that might help you to manage your losses, it won't help you win. You can't win by playing not to lose. Your only hope of winning is to play to win. Either way, you take a chance. And so liberals are notorious for making mistakes, owning up to the mistakes, learning mistakes, and taking more action. The irony is that the great men and women of all the enthusiastic disciplines, secular and spiritual, scientific and artistic, recreational and professional, all the great men and women only accomplish their greatness in the forward momentum of liberalism. The additional irony is that their followers tended to be fearful, superstitious, conservative fundamentalists. And so while the first, second, and third generation practitioners of any practice may behave in a manner that's similar to a certain degree, they get different results. Let's look at Buddhism. One of the late senior teachers of the 14th Dalai Lama insisted that there are 10 levels, or bhumis, B-H-U-M-I, on the path to enlightenment, the 10th being full enlightenment. My teachers have explained to me that no fundamentalist can ascend beyond the 6th level. The price of admission to the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th levels is letting go of fundamentalism, letting go of fear, letting go of perfectionism, letting go of dignity, letting go of rigidity, letting go of intolerance, letting go of aggression. I'm reminded of Morpheus talking to Neo in the Matrix. In a flash, they move from the construct to a rooftop training program. And Neo is just astonished with himself. And I'm going to paraphrase Morpheus. He says, fear, doubt, disbelief, you have to let it go, Neo. And that's really, really cool. I'm reminded of the fighting program in the Matrix. Where Neo addresses Morpheus and says, I know what you're trying to make me do. Morpheus says, I'm trying to free your mind. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to make you know Kung Fu. I'm trying to help you to become the happy camper that you were born to be. And that can only be done through the union of silliness and wisdom. The playfulness, the relaxedness of letting go. In the links below the video, there are already lectures or videos where I teach you how to sit comfortably. The key is comfort. There are many fundamentalists who tell you, well, you must choose a posture, force your legs into a full lotus posture, and sit without moving for 20 to 60 to 90 to 120 minutes. No. Pain is a message from your body. You ignore it at your own peril. When one position is uncomfortable, move to another. So there's already a video explaining to you how to sit comfortably. There's already a video explaining to you how to count the creases of your fingers. I recommend that you play with those. If not now, then very soon. See, I warned you, dripping with sweat. Anyway. There is a myth. Well, one of the sad things that has happened is that there's been a great corruption in Buddhism over the last 26 centuries. Hinduism has been mixed with Buddhism. Taoism has been mixed with Buddhism. I don't say that to denigrate either Hinduism or Taoism, but they're different paths with different techniques that are based on different assumptions with different goals in mind. They're different. It's kind of like making soup versus making a salad. Different ingredients, different goal, different method. Nothing wrong with soup, nothing wrong with salad, but if you confuse the two, you'll be disappointed. One of the myths of Taoism is entering the state of ping, P-I-N-G, or no thought. Got news for you folks, that Buddha never taught entering into the state of no thought. One of the myths that has been carried over from Hinduism and Buddhism is perfect concentration, where the mind focuses entirely on one object to the exclusion of all others. That, number one, the brain is not designed to do that. Number two, and if it did, it wouldn't be transformative. It's kind of like if you get to a part of the movie you don't like, and you pause the DVD, and you go outside, drink a glass of water, play with the cat, come back inside, put the glass of water on the sink, sit down on the couch and push play. Guess what? You're going to be right back in that really unpleasant part of the movie. Learning how to pause our cognitive or emotive functions of the mind do not evolve us. They're just an end run around suffering. They don't actually heal the suffering. Well, then what does? Vipassana, Satipatthana, is all about the union of awareness and letting go. Vipassana is taught in Zen and is described as Renzai, or I take that back, Soto. It's taught in Tibet, known as Dzogchen. Some people refer to it as Mahamudra Sutra. But don't be deceived. It's Buddha's most fundamental teaching. Then how do you do the damn thing? Glad you asked. On every in-breath, whether we know it or not, whether we feel it or not, we tighten up a little bit. What's the spiritual application of physical tightening? Notice it. We can notice what we feel, what we see, what we hear, what we think, what we remember, what we desire, what we dread. Just notice. On the out-breath, whether we know it or not, whether we feel it or not, we relax. Even just a little bit. What is the spiritual application of this physical propensity? Letting go. And so awareness is as close as every in-breath. Letting go is as close as every out-breath. Contrivance does not serve us. Spontaneity does. By using whatever spontaneously occurs on the in-breath, we're able to let go on the out-breath. Now, let go does not mean push away. You know, like the cartoons with Pepe Le Pew and the skunk, and the kitty cat that has the paint stain. And Pepe Le Pew is like, "Oh, mon chéri, let me take you around the world." And the kitty cat's like, "No, no, le yuck, le yuck." That's not letting go. Think of it this way. Let's pretend our hand was out and a little bird landed on our finger and clutched our finger with its little teeny talons. How cute would that be? Well, if we said, "I love birds. Oh, I love birds. I will take him home, and I will name him George, and I will love him, and I will squeeze him." That's not letting go. That's grasping, and it kills the bird. We use more birds that way. Okay, so let's pretend our hand's out. Another bird lands on our finger. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Very cute. And we say, "Ew, I don't like birds. Yuck." And the bird hits the wall and slides slowly down. Once again, it's animal abuse, and that's not letting go. That's pushing away. So what's letting go? It's neither pushing away nor grasping. It's simply being aware of the bird landing on our finger and giving the bird permission to leave when it's good and ready. Now, enough with this theory. Let's do something easy. Okay, on the in-breath, we're going to play with a rhetorical question. What a rhetorical question is? It's a question, there's two types of questions, my friend. There's hard-ass questions that require an answer, And there's lazy bastard questions that don't require an answer. This is one of those. So in the in-breath, we're going to silently, mentally, ask the rhetorical question, what sensation or emotion am I now experiencing? You know what? That's too many syllables. So we're going to reduce that to 3 syllables. We're going to ask, what feeling? On the in-breath. On the out-breath, we're going to mentally intend releasing. The deeper we breathe in, the more profoundly we'll be able to let go in the out-breath. So let's try that right now. Thumbs do not touch. That's Taoist. I should rephrase it. Thumbs do not touch each other. That's Taoist. What feeling? Releasing. Don't be scared to breathe deep. And now remember, it's not our job to answer these questions. The inner mind loves questions. So we feed the inner mind the question and let it play with it. Like a hamster in a habit trail, like a rat on a wheel, let it play. The next exercise is what hearing releasing. And as you are probably able to guess, the third exercise today is what seeing releasing. And for right now, let's do that with our eyes closed. Don't fool yourself. This simple exercise, when practiced correctly, only takes about 3 minutes, and it is profoundly healing, especially for those with post-traumatic stress syndrome. Because many times deep down, whether we know it or not, we're either trying not to remember how something looked or sounded or felt. We're trying to fix it. How could I have done it differently? How could I have protected John? How could I have protected Karen? How could I have prevented that from happening? And we're doing the opposite now. Instead of hiding, we're observing. Instead of fixing, we're letting go. Easier said than done? Yeah, sure, you betcha. But transformative and healing? Fuck yeah. Oh yeah, I said it. Yeah. So that's the first third of this morning's exercise. Now for the second third. Buddha describes the 7 factors of enlightenment. The fourth one he described was joy. How does an infant express joy? Through laughter. We all have the same facial expressions, regardless of age, our country, our culture, our language, our political beliefs. all have the same facial expressions. We all have the same tears. We all have the same laughter. Our mind contains a cunning computational component that loves to seek answers. If you ask, why does life suck? Your brain will gladly help you figure out why life's all the different ways that life sucks. If you ask your brain, how could this stuff be funny? Your brain will look for all the inappropriate, poor taste, blue humor reasons why this could be funny. When I think of post-traumatic stress disorder, I'm reminded of First Blood. Actually a very good movie starring Sylvester Stallone in the early 80s. Very early 80s, maybe even late 70s. And in it, the hero, John Rambo, has a complete breakdown and is reliving his friend's death in Vietnam. He's reliving holding his friend's remains, begging him to tell him where his head was, his friend's head that was now gone. When we look at the horrible things that have happened to us in our near or distant past, it's very easy to be angry. It's very easy to explore self-pity. But how much courage does it take to invite the subconscious computer we call mind to look for the humor, even the gallows humor, even the inappropriate humor of the most horrific moments of our life. So many times when I shared the most horrific moments of my life, I'm doing it in between jokes, and while I laugh, that's not a hiding technique. It's a way of coping with what happened. It's a way to face the nightmare without being destroyed by it. That's one of the reasons so many Jews played Nazis in various comedies in the 50s and in the 60s. So here's the question to play with. How could this be funny? On the in-breath, how could this, on the out-breath, be funny? The question mark is implied. Remember, these are rhetorical questions. It's not our job to answer them. But if we play with them, we will experience an answer. If not cognitively, then viscerally. In our belly! Let's play with that right now. How could this be funny? But wait, there's more. Humor ain't gonna do us no good if it don't affect us physiologically, and the purest response is a smile. Smiling with the lips corresponds to all things sensual and emotional. Grin with lips, that's the intention. Releasing, that's the intention. Let's play with that right now. If we smile with our cheeks, it helps us relate to auditory experience, be it internal or external, real or imagined. Grin with cheeks, releasing. I once had an instructor who explained that a smile ain't a smile. It begins on your lips, passes up through the apples of your cheeks, comes to rest on the outer corner of each eye, also known as the crow feet. Grin with eyes, releasing. Now, all these, gosh, what was it? 3, 4, 7 contemplations have been nothing but preparation for this most important of contemplations. All these contemplations were only semi spontaneous. You know, what feeling, what hearing, what seeing, this. Now, we leave ourselves completely vulnerable. Whatever sensation or emotion or sound or sight or memory or dream or dread goes cartwheeling through our mind, body, or circumstance. Noticing, releasing. Let's play with that right now. Deep breaths. So that completes the second third of our 3-minute technique. Our final third is great. We've exhausted the brain with all these 3-syllable contemplations. So now we're going to relax. We're going to unwind the most basic of 1-syllable contemplations. We're going to replace the word noticing with the word this. We're going to replace the intention letting go with the phrase ease. Just like the Eagles song, I got a peaceful, easy feeling. Don't worry, I won't sing it. You're getting off lucky. Okay. This ease. And really, you want to relax into it. You know, the kind of you make when you get into a hot shower at the end of a long day and you feel a blast of delicious water hit you between the scapula and just let go. This ease. Now, obviously, I took more than 3 minutes to explain that technique, but I assure you that technique can be done comfortably, easily, gently, leisurely, in about 3 minutes. So, to demonstrate that, we're going to practice the whole 3-minute technique again, this time without my explanation or elaboration. Oh ho ho ho. One time I visited a when I was a sixth when I was a fifth Bhumi Bodhisattva, I visited a Vietnamese Zen monastery, and one of the senior teachers screamed at me, "You can't be a monk if you can't hold your meditation posture for more than an hour." I didn't say it, but in hindsight, I think, yeah, right. How's the weather there down on the second Bhumi? Buffoon. Okay, here we go. What feeling? Releasing. What hearing, releasing. What seeing, releasing. How could this be funny? Grin with lips, releasing. Noticing, relaxing. This ease. That, my friend, is one of the simplest ways to practice the essentialization of Vipassana's union of awareness and letting go. Arguably, it could be considered the essence of Buddha's teachings. We have just generated a great amount of good karma. So, let's protect that good karma. Let's share that good karma. And consequently, let's multiply that good karma with something I call a recitation. This is one of 3 recitations that can be found at the end of every lesson. You can download for free when you use the link to go to the class materials page and download the free latest version of the PDF entitled First Set of Lesson Texts. So repeat after me, call and response. We use the word virtue, which is short for virtuous merit, which is a synonym for good karma. By this virtue may I now accomplish the spontaneous, habitual, easy, and effective mastery of Buddha's mental yogas, of wisdom, peace, love, and joy. And now lead every living being, without exception, to this ground. Now, we're going to do a gentle set of geriatric yoga. Second thought, that's enough stuff for today. Let's go on with the second recitation. May everyone be happy. Let's try this again. May everyone be healthy, wealthy, and happy. May everyone practice skillfully and joyfully. May everyone accomplish Chenrezig in this life, and then help many others do likewise. For truly that is the meaning of life. Om Mani Padme Hum. Chenrezig is the Buddha of compassion. What does it mean to accomplish the Buddha of compassion? It means that not only have we begun practicing the mental yogas of wisdom, peace, love, and joy, but we've gotten so good at them we've mastered them to such a degree that we can practice them spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. The third and final recitation. May I always be cared for throughout all my lives by the Buddha of infinite light, emanating as my kind teacher. And as such may I always enthusiastically and joyfully tread this excellent path graced by the conquerors. May you accomplish full enlightenment in this lifetime. If not, may you accomplish it in the next lifetime. May you have a dynamic relationship with a fully realized teacher in this life. And if not, then in your next. Now to move this water before I spill it and then consequently wear it. Woof! Oh ho ho! Oh ho ho ho! My friends, I thank you for your kind attention and for your enthusiasm to evolve, not just physically, but spiritually. I thank you for your enthusiasm to practice these instructions twice a day, every day, and for your support. May you and yours be healthy and happy. Om Mani Padme Hum. Before you go, I'd be remiss if I did not invite you to hit the subscribe button, or the like button, or the share button. When we're completely done, you can go find the big old YouTube button over here. That'll take you to your home page. On the left-hand side of the page, if you scroll down, you'll find a tab that reads Manage Subscriptions. You could look up either Lama, Jigme, or you could look up Enlightened Fitness. You could use your mouse to put a check in a little teeny box to the right. And that way, the next time I upload a video, YouTube will notify you via email. How cool is that? Now, I told you there are a bunch of links. You could use one of those links to help keep this monk fed, which is awesome, but not mandatory. And you could use another link to register for the next series of live weekly webinars that actually begin in less than a week. When exactly does it begin? Tuesday, the 2nd of July. I'll see you then. Bye-bye now.